Greetings volunteers, I'm Thea, one of your fellow volunteers. These videos are here to make sure that you feel informed and prepared for the day of Project Homeless Connect. We're so grateful for your willingness to dedicate your time to the incredible undertaking that is Project Homeless Connect Salt Lake City. At the first ever Project Homeless Connect in 2017, 103 service providers offered services to 784 members of our community experiencing homelessness. On one day in 2017, people received 2,955 services. Volunteers served 1,915 hours. That kind of time is worth over $45,000. And how do we know all of this? Data collection. Data help us understand the impact that we're having in our community and how we can further that impact in future years. Not only that, good data offer our service providers insight into how they can best meet the needs of people in our city who are experiencing homelessness. Data is pretty exciting, so we're going to need your help in order to make sure that the data we collect are as accurate and comprehensive as possible. Fear not, collecting data is a streamlined process at Project Homeless Connect. Here's what you'll need to know. You're going to hear about a few different data collection tools, but the vast majority of statistics we have about Project Homeless Connect in Salt Lake City come from one form, the client form. Thus, it would be ideal if you know how to use that form. The client form is a double-sided paper form that client guides will complete for every single client who attends PHC. This form helps us capture some background info on the client, track the services that they received, and check in about their overall experience at the event. When a client checks in, the check-in volunteer will complete the first section of the client form. They will record the client's name, what time they're checking in, and how many people they're attending Project Homeless Connect with. It's important that every client has their own form, but we also want to know what size of group people are coming to PHC in. Next, the check-in volunteer will record some demographic data. Lastly, the check-in volunteer will record how the client heard about Project Homeless Connect. Once the check-in volunteer has completed all of these tasks, the client is ready for their client guide. The second side of the form is for client guides. Using the services menu on your clipboard, help the client pick what services they'd like to receive. In the first column, record the code number of those services. Then, have the client rank the services in order of importance. Number the services in order of priority, with 1 as the highest priority. Write the rank in the second column. This table will be your guide as you navigate Project Homeless Connect with your client. Once your client receives each service, write the name of the service provider who offered it, indicate whether the service was completed, partially completed, or not completed at all, and make sure that the client rates their satisfaction with the service on a scale of 1 to 5, with 1 being unsatisfied and 5 being very satisfied. Once a client is ready to leave, the client guide will take them to the checkout area. From here, a checkout volunteer will work with the client and with their forms. First, the checkout volunteer will review the client form to make sure that all the information was recorded correctly. Then, they'll record information in the orange box on the front page of the client form. First, they'll record the time that the client is checking out. Then they'll ask whether the client picked up food and hygiene supplies. Then the checkout volunteer will ask, on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your overall experience at Project Homeless Connect? And circle the number corresponding to the client's response. Lastly, the checkout volunteer will ask the client, what could have improved your experience today? And will record the client's response. And then that's it! The client form is complete. With your support on the client form, we'll be able to use comprehensive and accurate data to better support the needs of our clients. There are 2 other data collection tools at PHC. Clients can complete an optional survey to help service providers have more up-to-date data on the homeless population in Salt Lake City. Volunteers who distribute the optional survey will receive training about how to get this done on the day of Project Homeless Connect. And finally, the last form is for you. After Project Homeless Connect, we'll send you a brief online survey to learn about your experience. You'll get an email with a link to the survey. We ask that all volunteers and service providers fill out this form to tell us about their experience. This helps us understand what our impact was this year, and it illuminates how we can further that impact next year. Your support as we work to collect informative data at Project Homeless Connect is an incredibly valuable asset to the work that we do. Again, thank you so much for your willingness to contribute your time, energy, and presence to Project Homeless Connect. We're absolutely thrilled to have you.